this month's Small Business Success Series, we interviewed Ruben Diaz and Paul Diaz, who are the owners of El Paso Industrial Water Services. Remember, the Small Business Success Series is designed basically to interview a owner who's now running a business, who's running a successful business, who's taken it from startup and did all the fights to get here and survived. And I'm not going to go through everything, but I hope you did like I did. When I rewatched the video, I took quite a bit of notes and picked up the high points, which are written down below. But I want to touch on a few major items. One thing that he mentioned that was key: make sure if you're the founder, you might bring in other partners because you need some other expertise, you need some money. But a key thing Ruben did that was important is he made sure that he had control, so that the company went the way he wanted it to go. Plus, when they started to fight, it was easier to get rid of them. The thing he stressed time and time again, which was at least three times, was how critical it was to him to have an excellent business banking relationship. In fact, he tried hard, and I think he mentioned Ray Aguilar, who was in our last, we interviewed in our first issue as far as how to get an SBA loan. Excellent interview. If you're thinking about getting an SBA loan, you want to pick that one up. But he mentioned time and time again how important it was, especially for a company that has a large fluctuation in working capital as far as receivables and inventory and equipment that he would have. Another thing he really stressed was the importance of recurring revenue. And we're probably going to cover this, and I know we will cover this in a future issue, because recurring revenue can save a business. As he said, if his main business, if his construction area is stopped, his recurring revenue would pay the rent, pay the payroll, pay the utilities, keep the doors open for all practical purposes. A thing he stressed as important was having a strategic plan was important, so that he knew where he was going and what he was trying to accomplish, and he's reviewed that at various times over the years. We talked to Paul, who's the son, and we touched on how the challenges of having family involved again. And this is close to 80% of small businesses have family members working for them. So this is a theme we touch on pretty frequently, and I'm sure we'll touch on again in the future. This one's a little bit different because the son is in a position to actually take over the business at some time in the future. We're not sure when that's going to be, but also the importance of him having worked in the business from at all stages of it, so that he actually learned it, Paul and Ruben for that matter, and how important it was to keep communication lines open. And finally, he said starting a business he stressed on something that I've touched on before, and it's also in the book that we're reviewing in this issue, which is the E-Myth Revisited. But Paul touched on it also, which is, or Ruben, one of the two of them touched on it, which was in regards to many people who start a business are technicians. They're very good at what they do, but they're not good at managing a business. And he mentioned that there's plenty of places to get help. He said check with the SBA, the SCORE, community colleges, many magazines. This one's designed for both startup businesses and other businesses. I hope you get a lot out of that interview. I know I did. And until next time, let's make this our best year ever.